Well, an amazing proposition. I wonder, what did the clients say when they saw this? Were they shocked by the circular form of it, or were they just looking at a whole series of different things? I imagine yours was the only one like this in the presentations.
Yeah, well, it was very tough competition because I was selecting 5, and then the other one was OMA, was Foster, and a German one. So there was very ambition. The point is, we are not making very, how can I say, it's not a proposal very innovative, because the ambition of the program was very ambitious. So what they're writing in their competition brief, they're looking for something new. They're looking for some new organization, hospital. So I think the answer was because the question was very well made, you know. But of course there was a shock a little bit, but they see how much potential is the design, which is not conventional. No, you know, when design hospital, you easily be related to the functionality, which is good. I mean, it's a fundamental, no? But if you keep into functionality and you forgot the architecture, the building become almost the same. So the idea was how to make the buildings working well, and how we can design a new approach on buildings so huge, especially for the context of Cremona, which is a small city, you know. They're looking for, in the brief, they want a new landmark of a city. They have a church with a tower, and they're looking for something that people can come to visit in the hospital because it's a new landmark of a city. So I think there was a very strong ambition from the program. That's why I think architects answer a question if you're pushing them, no? Say, I want something different, no?
And it is, I mean, personally, I've always thought that hospitals, of all the building types that architects address, are the most challenging.
Yeah.
Because, as you're mentioning, it engages everything from life to death.
Yeah.
Most of the people involved in a hospital are not patients. Yeah. And yet patients are the most important people. So you have all these many considerations. Had you done a hospital previously, and whether what precedents or ideas could you draw on?
Well, I did another one, is a private hospital in Milan. I was working with this family who was running 18 hospitals in Italy, and we designed one of the largest emergency care in Europe. You know, it was like 8,000 square meters only for the emergency. And I was talking with them to say, in the old emergency area, they take almost 1.5 minutes to take a red code from the ambulance to the operation room. The way we design the space with them is take an emergency code, red code, meaning it's life it's almost dead, in 35 seconds. So how you design this, you know, the way you position off, the way you bring people inside, the way you bring it down. So I think it's a lot of work. If you need to work with people then every day managing an hospital, like the room tilting like this. Yeah. No, it looks like a simple thing, but if you talk with the nursery, then for every night they need to watch patients. You know, of course they have all the electronics, diagrams, they can check and everything, but the visual thing is another story. If you walk in 3 floors and you have 150 rooms, and maybe because there's less and less people working in the hospital, then you need to watch 150 people in a night. If you walk in and you can see, it's much more faster in the way you can managing. So I think this is one of the things. And I remember working with doctors in the other hospital. Well, they know exactly the size of a tray to how to turn inside of a room and the size of a space. You know, all these little details multiplied by 1,000 times of a day is completely changed the way you manage it. So you need to be aware about designing these things, you know.
And can I ask, if all the patients in this hospital, do they each get an individual room, or are there any wards where people are mixed in together?
No, it's only one room, one person in a room. The potential is make 2, because in case of some particularly situation, you can double some room you can double, but in principle is one room. They changed the law in Italy. 20 years ago, it was 3 people in a room. then they bring in 2, and now they bring in 1. I mean, I understand why also to take care of people, because I did an hospital in Algeria, and the size of a room is completely different. Because when my kids was born in Bologna, my wife was in a double room, and the next bed was a girl from Tunisia. So we go to hospital, maybe we go 2 persons go to visiting, but Tunisia, they came 10, and they bring in food, and they enjoy, So if you talk about design an hospital in Algeria, you need to be careful. The organization of a family they visiting parents is completely different. I don't say it's good or bad. I'm saying it's different. And the way the people waiting and the people enjoy bringing. I remember they bring in tagine. The day after born, there was smell in the room about chicken and things. But that's the culture. You need to manage these things. And so anyway, I enjoy to make this kind of public hospitals, because it's a long story. I was writing the book I presented last year. One of the first hospitals was built in medieval time in Aleppo, in Iraq. And then it was designed with a very basic principle. Need to be a courtyard shading, and fresh water and good food. And at that time, they already know the people with virus need to be separating immediately, So the principle was already there for many, many centuries. Then we lost with this kind of a big hospital, We lost this kind of a human. They need nature relationship when they go to hospital, That's the stories of humanity,
Lovely note to end on. We're going to give you your award, Mario, and take your photograph.
Okay, thank you for all.